Louis has the voice of an angel. I just heard him sing a little bit to me, but Louis, it's been a minute.
Wild crocodile. But no, why did I call you Tiff? I miss you, one.
Miss you
We're
too.
buddies.
I miss Louis so much.
And I get like so many DMs on X about what are the pros and cons for the Bahamas for
I've
FTX.
been getting those messages too, and I had no idea what to say. So Louis knows more about this.
I would know about this. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just, in a hotel telling you about the Bahamas election with the FTX plan.
Okay.
The world's most boring video. Okay, let's go real quick.
So when you're voting, you have the option to opt into the Bahamas. Is it a Chapter 11 process? Just the Bahamas sort of bankruptcy process?
Yeah, I think it's basically the first option you're given.
Okay.
To take.
And if you elect to be a part of the Bahamas process, then you would no longer be a part of the United States process, the process that you and I have been talking about for months. Yeah.
Yes.
And people weren't
so
sure.
If you do that, you then need to file a proof of claim with PwC.
What is the PwC team?
The guys who are in charge of the Bahamian process. And so I've, spoken to the PwC team. I'm going to be honest with you guys. They seem pretty professional. They seem pretty good. They are not from the Bahamas. They're in Hong Kong, as far as I can tell.
Okay.
And they are pretty competent. Like, these are like some pretty serious guys. So, things should go well.
Okay. But there was some hearing that happened that was specifically about the Bahamas liquidation or the Bahamas process. So
it wasn't a hearing. It was a Q&A. I was on the Q&A. And yeah, it was pretty clear. I mean, those guys, pro guys, I just don't know if they have experience dealing with a shit ton of creditors, which the U.S. process definitely does. Bahamas, pros and cons, everybody. It's kind of a weird situation. I think the number one pro of the Bahamas is going to be if there's very few people that do the Bahamas election, it'll be pretty good. Yeah. So I think my first pro would be if there's few creditors that do the Bahamas route, then it'll be good. We are not doing the Bahamas route. We are the largest holder of claims in FTX. We are not doing the Bahamas route.
Yeah, Louis lost money to FTX, and he's also a claims buyer.
And we have over 4,500 claims now.
So then I guess the pro would be that if you did opt in, that you would get more individualized attention? Is that what you see as the pro? Or
I see it as a double-edged sword, is that if not that many people do it, then you'll have more individualized attention. If a lot of people do it, I can easily imagine how they would be overwhelmed and face delays. It's a double-edged sword. I look how organized I am. I have a little Word document, which I took some notes. So I'm going to read off my notes. I find that the Bahamas process is very clear that there will be no withholding tax.
And the withholding tax, to clarify, was what, 30% or so for international credit?
Yeah. But they might do that withholding tax in the U.S. process. On some of it, we don't know. It's super unclear. No communication anywhere.
Lovely. Lovely.
I think that is the main point. It's super clear, no withholding tax. The U.S. process is, it looks like there's no withholding tax, but it's still somewhat unclear. And, we don't really know. You will need on the Bahamas process, you will need to fill in a W-8 Ben form. So either process you're going to have to, if you're not a U.S. citizen.
If anyone is opting into the Bahamian process and has reasons why they did opt in, I mean, I'm happy to listen and contact me, DM me on X. But yeah, I guess it seems like you don't see a ton of pros. I mean, it would be nice to not have to.
This is the main pro. Yeah. That is the main pro. That's it. That's certainty around that. Okay. I'm going to list the cons now.
Okay.
The con number one for me is ask your tax advisor what would happen in your jurisdiction if you received a wire from the Bahamas. For example, if you live in a country like France, receiving a wire from the Bahamas into your bank account may cause you to automatically be audited by the tax authorities.
Oh.
The Bahamas used to be a blacklist country for the EU. It no longer is, but like, just think about it. If you're someone who makes whatever 2,000 euros a month in France, and all of a sudden you receive a 50,000 euro or 150,000 euro wire from the Bahamas into your bank account, you may get a audit. Now, an audit is expensive. Like, it is, you're going to have to hire a lawyer, and that is not covered by the state, and it's just going to be painful. So just have a think about that.
Yeah, it would probably raise more red flags, you'd say, than getting a wire from the United States.
Yes. And before anybody says, oh, but there's a stablecoin option, I've seen no evidence of it whatsoever.
Oh.
They have said, we'll consider doing it.
And
we'll let you know later.
And so far, you haven't seen any evidence that they would send your distribution through stablecoins.
Okay. They would have to hire a distribution agent. Mm-hmm. And like that happened in Celsius. I don't know if you remember, they hired Coinbase and PayPal, right?
Yes.
Was that not a fucking shit show for people? Did you have a million people?
Other people had issues with it. Personally, mine actually came through quite smoothly through PayPal, but I know some people did have problems with it. And it doesn't. I haven't heard any news of FTX even looking into finding a distribution partner. So it sounds like that would take a lot of extra time to do and may not happen at all.
So let's see. I mean, we have 3 more days to make the Bahamian election. August 16th. We're filming on August 13th. August 16th. So
just a big FYI to all FTX creditors. If you have not voted, you have 3 days to vote.
The other cons, you probably can't sell your claim. Oh. Once you've made the Bahamian election, let's say you want to sell your claim later, we probably won't buy it. It'll probably be too much of a hassle, or maybe the Bahamas don't even let you do it. A company like FTX Creditor is able to buy smaller claims, and a small claim is defined as a claim below $500,000 because we do things industrially. We can't do edge cases. And if you're the only guy in the Bahamas that wants to sell his 20K claim, actually it wouldn't be a 20K claim because the convenience class. So it would be a 50K claim above, and below $500,000, it'll be problematic.
Hey, it's me, Tiff, and in case you've never heard of me before, I've been independently covering fraud and bankruptcies in the crypto space. Because of this, I know a lot of people who follow me or might recognize me were once customers of FTX. Well, that's where FTX Creditor comes in. FTX Creditor will buy your FTX bankruptcy claim and pay you immediately in USDC. FTX Creditor has actually bought more FTX claims than all of the other claims buyers combined. FTX Creditor even buys small claims as low as $1,800, all the way up to claims as large as $10 million. So if you're interested in selling your FTX claim for immediate liquidity, or in selling your Voyager, BlockFi, or Celsius stub, you can go to ftxcreditor.com or contact them on Telegram at @FTXCreditor or on X at @FTXCreditor_com.
And my prediction, and this is a little bracket, is that the first distribution will be 50 to 60%.
Like from the US?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm always wrong. My predictions are always wrong. No one should take financial advice from me.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying that,
so you can talk about it. You predict that the first payout will be 50 to 60% of the value of your claim, not like today's value of what you held in your FTX account. And in USD, like what, a wire transfer, a check in the mail?
I think it'll be wire transfer, and essentially if the wires fail into your account, they'll mail you a check.
Okay. What do people have to do to access this wire transfer, do you think? Like, do you think that you're going to get like a letter in the mail, or do you think it's something that you're going to get emails about? Like,
it'll be on the claim portal. My guess, don't know. I have no real knowledge, but okay. More
cons.
I don't really have that many more cons. It's just the other con is like, hey, if a lot of people do the Bahamian process, I expect that to be difficult. I'm just saying that the U.S. bankruptcy process, and essentially like U.S. companies in general, have a lot of experience in sending money to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. I just don't know. I'm an evidence-based guy. I don't know if PwC, which is like a really well-respected consulting company and accounting firm, like how many times have they sent loads of checks in the mail?
Yeah, they may not have that much experience doing so. And I mean, we've obviously discussed in prior videos a lot of the issues with the US process and like how predatory it can be and how, I don't know, Sullivan and Cromwell is draining funds and I don't know. So, I mean, there are issues with the US process, but it does seem like to me maybe the safer bet that we know more about, I guess. I don't know. So, I don't know.
We'll end on this note because I need to go to dinner. But let me tell
Okay.
you this. Have you guys seen the episode of South Park where there's an election between a giant turd and a douche sandwich? Or it's
I
like
haven't.
giant douche versus turd sandwich. This is kind of it.
This is giant douche versus turd sandwich.
It kind of is. Like, there's no, you know, look, the turd sandwich is a super nice guy, and the giant douche is efficient ish. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you. It's fucked. None of this is positive.
Okay. Okay. Well, I know you have to go to dinner. Is there anything else you wanted to say about this Bahamas process? Because people have been asking a lot of questions about it.
I think the most key takeaway is if you want to sell your claim, US, if you want to do Bahamas, call your tax advisor and ask him, hey, can I receive a wire from the Bahamas without triggering an automatic audit, or at least not increasing my risk of being audited? Not that necessarily you have anything that you to hide or whatever, but like that's painful, man.
No one wants to be audited. Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, Louis is obviously a claim buyer, so I don't know. People might think that you have like some other incentive for not wanting to be able to do the Bahamas process, but I would say that I agree with those points. And I mean, if anyone has major pros, just dropped something. If anyone has major pros for the Bahamas process, feel free to reach
Let
out
us
to me.
know.
Happy to talk
Yeah.
about it. And I know Louis has to run to dinner, but Louis, we should do another video soon if you think of any.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, one of the things on the claim buying thing, of course, I'm a claim buyer. My incentive is to buy claims. And I've built a machine that buys a lot of claims. And sometimes I think claim buyers are vilified for wrong reasons and sometimes for good reasons. But I often get people in my doing very complicated things and saying claim buyers are evil, the process is evil, etc., and then begging me in my DMs for us to buy the claim. And of course, it's just simple business for us. Like, there's no feelings involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if you've done the process right, we'll buy your claim. If you haven't, like, we can't. That's it.
I'll include an FTX creditor little ad in this video. And
Sweet.
Louis, let's catch up soon. We have a lot to catch up on. Need to hear about your life.
All right, I gotta go.
Okay. Bye, Lou.
Bye.
The most boring video ever.
Pretty much.